Alright, what's up everybody? This is Dre Chili coming back at you guys once again. I would like to thank all of my subscribers that recently subscribed, as well as people that's given their feedback in regards to some of the videos that I've previously made. As I've stated in some of the comment sections, I have a lot more content coming, so you guys stay tuned and subscribe and like the videos. This is going to be a very quick, straight to the point type of video in regards to some of the questions that I was asked. In particular, the Declaration of Rights in most state constitutions, as well as the International Monetary Fund, in addition to some of the questions that people wanted to know about how to access the Sesta Gateway Trust account, which I'm refusing basically to give out any information in regards to the Sesta K Trust account, because most people, and I'm assuming here, so this is just my opinion. I feel as if most people don't even know the legal person's so-called fucking rights, let alone trying to access some money through the Department of Treasury, which has technically just been in namesake only since about 1913. It's suicide, in my opinion. You're asking to get yourself locked up in regards to trying to access that goddamn trust account. When I put out the Treasury Direct Bond Calculator video, it was basically just to inform people that your physical live body is being traded for commerce on the New York Stock Exchange, as well as various other international stock exchange. However, in regards to, say for instance, if a person has so-called credit or debt collectors that are coming after one, there are remedies. You can do a debt validation letter. You can request that the creditor send it any response in the form of affidavit. I'm going to be uploading a template to show you guys, some of the remedies that I have been able to, find within their allegory type system. In regards to the Arizona State Constitution, I had another fellow person that lives in Arizona that asked me to break down some of the language in regards to the Arizona State Constitution. And if you look at Article 2, Section 2 of the Arizona State Constitution, it says political power, purpose of government. Section 2 states, all political power is inherent in the people, and governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. So it's basically telling you right there within that first line that the power is inherent in the people, and that the people have to give permission to be governed underneath this Constitution, and are established to protect and maintain individual rights. However, if you haven't notified them that they don't have permission to govern you, and if you haven't separated your status, which you eventually need to take care of, but it's a priority, but it's not something that, if you don't understand what's really going on, it's not something that you would need to do right away. It's pretty much more or less about your attitude and you knowing who you are as a actual living person. You do eventually need to separate the public you from the private you, but however, it's basically saying it right here in Arizona State Constitution, Article 2, Section 2, that they're assuming that you've given them consent whenever it is that you go out and you sign for a driver's license, social security card, any type of identification that identifies you as being your legal person. Once again, all capital letter name. So basically, one of the things that you want to do in regards to that, because that was the question, is you want to basically use the Constitution when they take their oath of office. I'm talking about all of the political figureheads or public officials. You basically want to use their oath of office as a binder, binding them to the contract, and you use that against them. So basically, if it's saying right here, from the consent of the government. Consent means permission. They don't have the permission if you don't want them to have the permission. But one of the things you have to do is notify them. You have to notify the Attorney General. You have to notify pretty much all of the Supreme Court justices within your state. You have to notify circuit courts, superior courts. You have to notify the city magistrates. I would suggest whatever county you live in, notifying the county sheriff, notifying the local police agency. You have to give notice. You just can't go out here doing things willy-nilly. That's how, a lot of people are getting fucked up, and a lot of shit is turning deadly because some of the things that people are trying to do, you haven't given proper notice. You have to give these people a chance to respond, because you don't know what they might have an interest in, whether it might be a particular individual right that you're trying to exercise, or it might be private property. You have to give them a chance to rebut. You can't just go out here and do things all free and willy-nilly. The second question was, what was my thoughts about the International Monetary Fund? Well, the International Monetary Fund is the New World Order, but a lot of people use that term very loosely. The International Monetary Fund, or in fact, essentially owns the Federal Reserve banks. If you guys take a look at the Bretton Woods Agreements Act, basically what happens is that the United States corporation pays a subscription fee, which is about $1.8 billion every, I want to say it's every June. Every June they pay about 1.8 billion from a specified fund, which the Department of Treasury is authorized to pay. So they have to pay a subscription fee to even be associated with the International Monetary Fund, which in turn issues loans through the Federal Reserve, but it essentially owns the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve Bank acts as basically the depository fiscal agent on behalf of the International Monetary Fund. If you take a look at the Bretton Woods Agreements Act, it states in Section 6, 22 U.S.C., page 286D, any Federal Reserve Bank which is requested to do so by the fund or the bank shall act as a depository or its fiscal agent, and the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System shall supervise and direct the carrying out of these functions of the Federal Reserve banks. The Secretary of Treasury is directed to use $1.8 billion of the fund established in this section to pay part of the subscription of the United States to the International Monetary Fund. Now, you got a lot of people that's just constantly over the internet repeating shit, but they don't even understand what the fuck is really going on, in my opinion. The national debt is $19 trillion if you look at the national debt clock. However, there is no... Whenever people try to say, hey, well, we want to pay down the national debt, there's no such thing. It's no such thing. It exists in namesake only, pretty much. I mean, it exists within their world or their legal fiction, but there's no grave intention to ever pay it back, because this is essentially how they have killed the republic. The republic, it still exists in some aspects, but you have to, pretty much knock down walls in order to get them to respect it. Because once again, if they know you as being this fucking corporate citizen and you haven't rebutted what it is that they're claiming, and if you haven't basically taken back consent and notified these proper public officials in their capacities that they no longer have your consent to do whatever it is that they're doing, then they're automatically assuming power of attorney, because you've only more or less been recognized as your legal person. So just know that the International Monetary Fund essentially owns the Federal Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank essentially owns the birth certificate at the time that it was registered in commerce with the Department of Commerce, as well as the Secretary of Treasury. It's 12 Federal Reserve banks. The Federal Reserve banks hold... One of the 12 Federal Reserve banks holds your bond, or essentially the birth certificate, the original one. So just know that. I mean, you guys got to do your own research. You got to start taking the initiative. As far as the people that want to access the SSKV trust account, I'm not helping you, because when you get yourself involved in this system and you get yourself involved with a lot of cynical people within their system, you're really going to get yourself hurt. And I just pretty much put out these videos because I want people to start doing their own research, understand it, get it. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. I'm going to pretty much be doing... If you live in the state of Arizona, I'm going to pretty much be breaking down the entire state constitution, in particular Article 2 of the state constitution, which covers the Declaration of Rights. and as well as Article 3, which covers the distribution of powers or assumed power if you haven't revoked their power of attorney. There are short-term remedies in regards to some remedies if you're having tickets. Once again, everybody go check out the video that I have, how I would handle citations as the authorized rep. A ticket is essentially a contract, so you basically have to just give them their contract back and let them know that you don't want to contract with them. It's as simple as that. It's not complex. It's not astrophysics how people try to make it out to seem. But once again, if you don't know these things, then hey, it's a learning process for all. I'm here to help. Try to have an open mind. Leave feedback, comments, any suggestions. Shoot your email address. I have a lot of information that I wish to share with a lot of people. One of the things that I don't put disclaimers on any of my videos, because everything that I'm saying and will be saying is truthful. I've did the research, I've looked into it. I don't have any reason to throw out disclaimers, because if a person who knows what they're doing, if somebody was to say, well, I took this information and I want to put him as a party to a case because I got in trouble by listening to him and his information. Well, most of my information that I've been putting out, I can't say most, all of my information that I've been putting out is truthful. But I will say in preference when I say most, because it is still a process. It's a learning process for me as well. So you just know that. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got for you guys today. Once again, subscribe, like, leave some comments, because I'm interested in feedback, or I'm interested in other people's opinions or take on certain things. All right, everybody, have a nice day. Take care. This is Dre Chili once again signing out. Peace.